So super excited and nervous for the podcast. I don't know what is.
As you should be. Good.
Leptin resistance is one of the reason you see fluctuations can also.
It was going so well and the fluctuation. Because ACs like to swing.
I'll do it again. लोगों को बहुत आदत होती है. They'll Google their symptoms.
Yeah.
When they Google it, immediately first आ जाता है cancer, like
Stroke, brain tumor.
stroke,
Yeah.
brain tumor.
Now the recent trend is longevity and anti-aging, right? So are there any markers that can help detect how long you're going to live? Or like, are you going to have flawless skin? I would like to take that test.
Chronological age is basically आप इस पृथ्वी पे कितना टाइम से
इस पृथ्वी पे आप कितना टाइम हो भाई?
जिंदा हो.
Suddenly like a pandit you're speaking. That ACV has just shut her up, man. अब पता चला कितना कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड देते हैं मुझे ये लोग हर पॉडकास्ट में. Hello and welcome to another episode of Guts, the Ayak podcast, and I am your host Shagunarya. And today we have somebody with us who has been here at iThrive for a couple of years now, and she's been an instructor as well at the iThrive Academy. So welcome Shreya, and please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you. So hi guys, my name is Shreya Lamkhade and I've been working at iThrive for more than 2 years now as a functional nutritionist and an academy instructor. So super excited and nervous for the podcast. I don't know what is.
As you should be. Good. So what do you teach at the academy? Tell me that.
So I teach functional blood chemistry analysis and gut health module.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about blood chemistry analysis in today's podcast. And as an instructor, you have to answer this for me, that what is the difference between clinical blood tests and functional blood chemistry or functional blood tests?
So functional blood test and your clinical test are similar, but
Okay.
the difference actually lies between how you interpret those functional blood tests. That is where the difference majorly lies in.
How's it different? How's the interpretation different?
So if you look at the reports over there, you will see pathological ranges or like simpler language, it's the lab ranges that is given. So in clinical setup, usually what the practitioner does it, they'll compare the reports with the lab ranges, and those lab ranges are basically designed to diagnose a condition, to rule out a condition.
Right.
Okay, so over there what happens is there is no symptom analysis that is done. All of that done is basically comparing the reports with the clinical setup. In functional nutrition, what we do is we use optimal ranges, which are very narrowed down version, a very precise version of your lab ranges. And when we compare your blood reports with the functional ranges or optimal ranges, over here we understand any kind of a imbalance or dysfunction that is arising in the body.
So at an earlier stage, you get to understand if the body is actually going through certain dysfunctions.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than something getting diagnosed at a disease state or at a more chronic state.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is like a preventative step, which is better, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it's a preventive, proactive tool actually.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. And tell me this now, again, when we ask somebody to do the blood test, there is a laundry list of questions that comes. Okay, and one of the most basic and the most layman questions that can come to you is that when should somebody get it done? When should somebody get their blood test done?
So ideally, if you're in a healthy state, you don't have any symptoms, you don't have any chronic condition, you should do like an annual checkup, like at least like once in a year or twice in a year. This is something that you should actually do it. It's apply for everyone. But if you have a specific goal in your mind, like you want to work on your chronic health issues, or if you have some certain symptoms that you want to keep a close eye on it, so obviously you should do it once in 3 months or 4 months. So you will able to revise, you will able to modify your plan of action accordingly.
Right. So, like at iThrive, what we do is if somebody signs up, especially for the Alive program, right? So you get the blood test done before once, and once the program is done or they've partially gone through it, at least 3 to 4 months, that's when you get another set done just to see
Yeah.
what has been the progress over the past few months, right? But that is somebody, mostly people who come to us are people who think that they're not healthy or some kind of dysfunction is taking place. But like you correctly answered, for somebody who feels that they're healthy and they don't have any disease conditions, they're not feeling any symptoms in their body that could be stating otherwise, then I think annual checkup is good enough, and that should be done at least annually, if not biannually.
Yep.
At least annually
Annually
should
you
be
should
done.
definitely do it. Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me this, that can these blood tests actually detect any kind of imbalances or dysfunctions before they start to appear in the body, or before any symptom rather start to appear for it?
Okay. So yeah, definitely. So like we have a lot of clients who come with no symptoms, but just to do an annual checkup, they'll come. They just want to know what is happening inside their body. So once we do their blood reports, once we do the comparison, there are a lot of imbalances that we catch it. Like there are a lot of changes, or that there are a lot of deficiency that has already started brewing inside their body, but the symptoms are yet to show up. I always give them an example of like a canary in a coal mine. So basically, during older times, what coal miners used to do is they used to carry a bird along with them, because there was not a high tech technology to understand how is there any kind of a toxic
Disaster.
disaster that is going to come or not. So they used to always carry a bird with them. So when the bird stops singing,
Oh.
they'll get an idea, oh, something wrong is going on, there is some danger ahead. And like this is something that we are not able to see or smell, but something is there. Basically it acts like a early warning system for them. So same is like your functional blood test. It acts as a early warning system. It helps you to understand how optimally your body is working, and if there is any kind of a dysfunction or any kind of imbalance that is arising in your body, you can start working on before it converts into a full blown condition.
That's fair. And tell me this, is there like any specific age group which should actually be thinking about getting the blood test done regularly, or even it's safe for children and elderly population?
No, this is apply for everyone, even for the kids, adolescents, or like early youngsters, or like middle age or elders. Anyone can get their functional blood test done. Just the ranges and the interpretation and the goal would differ age to age wise, but anyone can do it basically.
Okay, and again, this question might throw you off a bit, but tell me this, is there any specific condition which benefits the most out of getting these blood tests done?
No, like all of the conditions, like everyone should actually do.
No condition also.
No
You should be
condition.
benefiting out of
Everyone
getting
is benefited with this blood test.
And if I speak about like women on the panel, we have to ask a woman related question, right?
Definitely.
If we speak about us, okay, are there any specific blood tests that we should be doing during different periods of our life? Like, for example, in our 20s, 30s, 40s, post menopause, before menopause? Is there any difference in the blood tests?
So according to me, what I feel is everyone should get their basic, and like according to their age, their parameters or the testing would differ individual to individual. So basic common panel should be like CBC is must and must. You should keep a check on your nutritional deficiencies. You should keep a check on your glucose profile. There are certain hormonal parameters that you need to check in, because if you're planning to conceive, or if you are just keeping a check on your reproductive health, or if you have any kind of a condition, you should must keep and check on your hormonal profile. That is, your estrogen should come, your progesterone, your prolactin, your testosterone should come. If you're planning for the pregnancy, your AMH is one of the parameters you should definitely add it, because that gives us an idea how your uterus, how much ready your uterus to take ahead the pregnancy properly. That is there. Considering 40s, that is where there is a shift that slowly starts happening in the hormones, like perimenopause phase comes.
Starts coming,
Women will start experiencing weight gain, mood swings, hot flashes. These are very common symptoms. So there also you should need to keep a check on your hormonal profile. But along with that, as you age, your risk factor for many of the chronic conditions starts increasing.
yeah.
Like cardiovascular markers is must and must. Like along with your lipid profile, you should check your ApoB and lipoprotein A. That is definite markers, and your thyroid profile. Okay, so thyroid profile along with the antibodies, because that influences your metabolic rate, that influences your majority of the symptoms that the women do experience during this age time. And when we talk about postmenopausal, where the woman has already hit the menopause, over there you should keep more focus on prevention of any like age related conditions. So you should keep a check on nutrients, specifically your vitamin D, your calcium, your phosphorus. This is like a must kind of a thing. But along with that, your liver health, your kidney profiles, this is also something that you need to
So all
definitely
the
keep a
basic
check on.
tests, which is basically like you said, CBC, you get your iron levels checked and everything continuously, especially for somebody in the reproductive age, that's very critical. Then you get your lipid panel done, you get your glucose, your thyroid, your liver, your kidney. These are just tests that you can do annually.
Annually, yeah.
And if you want any specific tests more, then you get things done. And hormones, of course, is
Yeah,
something that you recommend for women throughout their
definitely.
age.
And these parameters actually can depend upon like your conditions and the symptoms that you're
Hmm.
experiencing. Because right now हम ऐसे ज़माने में रह रहे कि like usually what used to happen in past कि there were certain conditions that used to occur in certain age group. Now that is not the thing because your environmental factors are influencing so many of your hormones, so many of your body's process, your metabolic rate. Even at early age, people are experiencing Hashimoto's, like PCOS is very common these days, which was not there like a last time. So like you should always definitely keep a check, especially when you have a chronic condition. You should definitely keep a close eye on all of these parameters, like a 3 months quarterly check, and that is something that you should definitely do it in.
And not just that, I mean, yes, get the blood test done, but if you are educated enough about interpreting it well and good, otherwise go to a professional who can do it for you, because it's very critical that you understand. Because a lot of people who have come to us also, they've stated that we do take the test to the doctors, and of course doctors are mostly the people who recommend certain tests, right? But what happens is that they just browse through the sheets of the test and they just say हाँ सब ठीक है लेकिन ये दवाइयाँ लो. So till the time, like I said, if you're educated enough in interpreting your own blood tests really well and good, otherwise do consult somebody who has that knowledge and keep a record of all the blood tests that you do. ये नहीं कि 3 महीने हर 3 महीने में करा रहे हो, but you don't remember the pattern that was there earlier, right? It's better to actually keep a record and see what all changes and what all has shifted in your own health so that you can map it better.
See, this
Right.
is also useful for the nutritionist who are you consulting with, because
Yeah.
she can understand the pattern, understand the trends that is going on in your body, right?
Yeah.
And it's always best to consult a proper practitioner who has like an in-depth idea about what is going wrong inside your body. It can correlate, the person can correlate your symptoms with the blood reports and can plan your protocol or design a proper strategy for you based on that. It's not just a superficial treatment that you should look for. It should be like a root cause treatment is something that you should definitely go ahead. It might take some time, but obviously if कुछ जड़ों से कुछ किसी को अगर निकालना होगा तो it will definitely take a little much amount of time. So you need a little patience and consistency to do it.
True. And of all the tests that you've said, these are applicable to men also, like all those hormone markers and all the basic blood tests.
So hormone markers might change. In men, testosterone is something that definitely you need to check.
But we do that in women also.
Yeah, we do that
Hmm.
in women also, but in men it's more testosterone.
Prominent,
Along
yeah.
with that, you need to check FSH and LH as well.
Okay.
Also, your cortisol is something that also influences. That is something I missed in the women's
Women
health.
also, yeah.
Because stress is again one of the major factor these days, which influences how your organs or it can influence how your body basically is functioning properly. So cortisol is definitely there in men and women, and in men your testosterone. Along with that, you also need to check their thyroid profile, because now thyroid conditions are not restrained to just women. Even there are a lot of men, there are a lot of male clients who have a lot of thyroid dysfunction that we have been seeing when we compare the reports with the optimal ranges, and majority of their symptoms that they are experiencing are happening because of thyroid
Yeah,
imbalance.
but they don't realize it.
They don't realize it because there is like a thing in the mind कि men को कभी thyroid condition हो नहीं सकता.
Is
Right.
that so? Oh, okay.
No, that's not true, because as I said, there are a lot of triggers, there are a lot of things that influences.
I mean, it can happen to any or both genders, like
Huh.
any gender, in fact. And I don't think it's, in this case, it's not just a gender. Like PCOS, तो चलो आप बोल सकते हो कि हाँ, only females will
Females
get it.
में,
But something like thyroid, that will be susceptible to both the genders.
बहुत अच्छा है. And it's not just men and women, even children's में बहुत जल्दी thyroid ये हो रहा है, because we have few of our younger clients who has Hashimoto's, which
Oh,
is
shoot.
diagnosed in like early teenage time, like 10 and 11 years, struggling with lot of symptoms, morbid obesity, lot like eating pattern was not clean. There were a lot of stressors. Even they were school going, but बहुत सारा peer pressure and बहुत सारी चीजें थी that was influencing their thyroid hormone. So I feel अभी any kind of a condition is not restrained to any age. किसी को भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. So you should always keep a good check
I mean,
on your
people have
health.
earlier it used to be कि आपको heart attack 60 के बाद ही आएगा.
हाँ.
I mean, sadly, that trend has also changed for our country massively. Diabetes, look at diabetes. It used to be a disease of the elderly earlier, but now if we look at it, anybody, like people in their 30s, if it's not autoimmune diabetes, even 40s and late 30s or 30s in general, and if it's type 1 or any kind of autoimmune condition, then it's happening earlier in their life as well. So it's actually, it's you
Hmm.
can't say कि हाँ मैं इस एज
Anything.
के बाद ही इस disease
This
का
is
risk
a-
factor है. I think risk factors are now more pronounced.
Yeah. Even heart attack. Like
Hmm.
बीच में like news में आया था कि like a school going child had a heart attack.
Yeah,
Like no one, like किसी को भी पता नहीं चला कि it's a heart attack or
yeah,
heart
yeah,
attack.
yeah.
So you can't tell like किसको कौन सी condition कब हो सकती है
That's
अभी के
true.
days में.
And as sad as that is, I mean, it's better, like she's been saying, it's better to be having that preventative tool of getting yourself checked annually, if nothing else, if not more, to just know what your health status is like. I mean, and it's sad, we see it every time also. People really, and it's very common in our country that people don't want to spend on their health.
Agreed.
Okay, they won't pay for that blood test, they won't pay for any kind of consultation with any professional, but they will pay for that new phone that comes every year for that status, right? But if you don't have your health, what is your status
What is your
worth?
status for? Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's just sad that the priority of things is unfortunately not very
It
clear
has
for
changed.
us. But hoping that the next generation and the coming generations make it more clear. But yeah, I mean, if I have to ask you, like we've spoken about hormones being important for both the genders. So, any tests that you would recommend to keep a check on for fertility? Like a lot of couples want to know about this. Like, what tests would you say, in your expert opinion, are important?
So in women, you should definitely keep an eye on your estrogen, progesterone, because that helps to regulate your cycles, that helps to prepare your uterus for proper implantation. Your FSH is there, your LH is there, then definitely your thyroid, as I mentioned, because thyroid is going to influence your metabolic rate. Your cortisol is going to, because it's a stress hormone, so that is definitely going to give an idea about how much amount of stress is basically building up in the body. In women, that is definitely, these things should be there, along with that AMH, anti-Mullerian hormone. That is definitely and must, one of them. Prolactin is there, that you need to check in. DHEAS and your SHBG is one of them.
Of course, yeah.
In men, obviously testosterone is there, FSH, LH is there. Cortisol and thyroid also applies to in their case as well, because that is also going to influence the metabolic rate, and the stress is going to impact the sperm production. So like these are the must and
Good to
must
check it, yeah.
go to test that needs to be done. But along with that, your other parameters like your nutrients, your insulin markers is definitely there. So what people do is, when we tell them to get their glucose profile, they'll just check their
Fasting.
HbA1c and fasting blood sugar levels.
Insulin, to nobody checks.
Nobody check, not even doctors, and even C-peptide is something that is
a long lost friend, just orbiting around the blood test. But yeah.
Abhi to now I have started seeing HOMA 2 in few of the blood reports.
okay. That's nice.
But like insulin and C-peptide is something that no one ever does it, and like majority of people who comes for RCA at our place, उनको पहली बार ऐसे लगता है, oh, insulin and C-peptide, how come you guys check insulin and C-peptide? मतलब insulin resistance इससे ही पता चलने वाले हैं
I mean, it's in the name, if nothing else.
Yeah, because these markers is basically give us an idea about the inflammation state, because it's closely related with the chronic inflammation state that can build up. And if there is a lot of inflammation in your body, that is also going to impact your conceiving phase. Conceiving, your hormone production, your sperm production, all of these things are going to get impacted because of that as well. So it's not just like a isolated markers, but you need to check all of the parameters as well, because your body is interconnected with each other. One parameter is going to influence another parameter directly or indirectly. So if there is any dysfunction, that can be also one reason why you are facing any issues with fertility or sperm production or low libido. That can also be related with other parameters or infection, inflammation as well.
That being said, I think you spoke about hidden inflammation and all of that. So, what are the markers that we can look at to check if there's hidden inflammation in the body? And apart from that, even autoimmunity. Like a lot of people, surprisingly, even thyroid clients who come to us who've had thyroid for 15, 20 years, they've been taking that medicine, but they've never been asked to actually get their autoimmune, or rather the antibodies tested, right? So, what are the potential tests that you can get done in order to see the hidden inflammation in the body, and if there are any autoimmune triggers?
So you might be very familiar with CRP. That started becoming a norm during COVID time. Doctors started using, used to check CRP levels to get an idea about how much amount of inflammation is
CRP
basically
is your C-reactive protein.
C-reactive protein,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. So that is something that started becoming a norm during after COVID time, specifically during COVID patients, because it is designed. It goes its production goes on a higher side in case of inflammation. So that is one of the markers that is checked. But in functional nutrition, what we do is we check much more sensitive marker, that is HSCRP, that is high sensitivity C-reactive protein, because this is a sensitive marker. It can catch even smallest amount of inflammation that is there in the body that is usually can get missed out in your standard CRP test.
So it's an earlier indicator.
It's an early indicator because your CRP inflammatory markers, it is related to a lot of metabolic diseases like your insulin resistance, your cardiovascular markers, your thyroid, everything. Like inflammation it's like a systemic inflammation. It can impact any organs functioning at any time of the life, right? So HSCRP is something that is definitely one of the inflammatory markers, but along with that your ESR is there, which is erythrocyte sedimentation rate, which gives us an idea about more chronic inflammation. So we also check ferritin, which is called as APR, that is acute phase reactant. Okay, so that is something. What happens is your inflammation, when there is inflammation in your body, there are certain markers that can go on a higher side. The production rate can go on a higher side, and there are certain markers that their production rate can drop down. And ferritin is a positive APR. That means their production goes on a higher side. So along with HSCRP and CRP, HSCRP and your ESR, we also check your ferritin levels because the levels can get influenced because of that as well. So these are the definitive markers that we check in. And when we talk about autoimmune condition, this doesn't develop within a week or within a month. This is a very long lasting process that
Gradual
happens.
process.
Yeah, gradual process. And it keeps like it starts developing with the normal symptoms that we consider, अच्छा ये तो ठीक ही है, ये age की वजह से हो रहा है. Like simple symptoms like joint pain, chronic fatigue. People tend to ignore these symptoms considering, अच्छा यार मैंने कल बहुत काम कर लिया था इसलिए पेन हो रहा है. No, but you need to understand why this pain is coming, where it is coming from. And this is something, again, which is missed out in your clinical setup because they won't treat the symptom. They'll
Yeah.
just treat what is showing up in your blood reports. That is, if there is any diagnosed disease or diagnosed condition. So what over here we do is, if there is any symptom that has been there for a very chronic state, or if someone has any chronic condition, as you mentioned, like thyroid condition, they've been experiencing like from 10 years, 15 years, or if someone has extremely elevated abnormal TSH level, on priority we get the thyroid antibodies done. Like your TPO is there, your TRAB is there, and your TGB is there. This is something is like must norm in our case when you see a pattern where you can identify the autoimmunity after looking at the inflammatory markers. So this is something that is usually missed on, because if there is autoimmunity, your plan of action is definitely going to keep change.
Yeah.
Your supplementation, your food protocol, the way that the lifestyle or the stress management techniques that you're going to plan out, that is definitely going to keep changing based on what the reports are basically giving us an idea about, and that is what is something missed in a clinical setup when we are comparing with the lab ranges.
And I think what you mentioned were about the thyroid antibodies and everything. But for I think every condition, if it's an autoimmune condition is happening, like I said, type 1 diabetes more, then you have separate antibody tests for that.
Yep.
Some other autoimmune condition, if it's happening, like for example, rheumatoid arthritis is happening or something, right? You can get those specific tests done as well. And in fact, something like an ANA test also, which is your anti-nuclear antibodies, right? So, uske liye bhi, it is a good marker, early marker to see if autoimmune process has started in your body or not,
Definitely.
right? So, that being said, now if you look at sports people, like literally athletes, right? Their requirements of the body is different, their diet, their lifestyle, everything is different. Now, what would be the panels that they should be recommended? And secondly, even like, okay, remove athletes, even for somebody who has a lot of physical work that they do, or even mental stress that's there, what would you recommend in their blood test?
See, when we talk about sports, or athletes person, their aim is to basically enhance their performance.
Yeah.
Their aim is to prevent the burnouts that usually happens when you're not taking a good care of your diet and your lifestyle and your exercise routine that is not perfectly matching or balancing out. So it's definitely markers for them is CBC, complete blood cell count, because over there we check hemoglobin, RBC count is there. You have hematocrit, MCV, MCH, MCHC, RDW. These markers are definitely there because your hemoglobin is a marker which gives us an idea about your oxygen carrying capacity, right? So that is important
Very
during
critical for their
critical for them.
performance.
Yeah, definitely. Because if there is anemia, that is definitely going to impact their oxygen carrying capacity and they'll have a easy burnout sessions. So that is their iron, one of the parameters, because iron, again, hemoglobin is made majorly from your iron. So iron is one of the marker that is definitely needs to be checked in. Glucose profile, because your body will use glucose to like survive or like continue during your workout sessions. So glucose is there because if there is insulin resistance, that is also going to cause early like burnouts. Like it is going to increase the LDH production, it is going to increase the lactic acid that gives that impacts the performance of the sports person. So that is there. Lipid markers is well written said. Your thyroid markers are there because thyroid is one of the master gland which controls your metabolic rate,
Yeah.
how fast your body is going to
Almost
run.
all, yeah.
Almost all, like electrolyte balance is there, your pH, your body temperature, everything is majority of is under control with your thyroid. So if there is any mess up with thyroid, then it can also directly impact your performance rate. So that is there. When we talk about stress, cortisol is something that
Yeah,
should
that should be done.
pop up like first thing that should be there. And especially in men, testosterone is something that you need to check out because testosterone is something that helps with your, again, your energy cycle. So in men, if they're experiencing low on energy, extreme fatigue even after having adequate amount of sleep, cortisol and testosterone is something that is must that needs to be checked in men. And women, it's like your hormone profile and your cortisol.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
And about leptin, what about that test? Should that be given for people who feel stressed commonly or for
नहीं, leptin तो it's must, especially when someone is changing too, like experiencing too much change in their weight,
yeah,
like energy
fluctuations
level
are happening.
fluctuations
Yeah.
are like happening, like they do like a quick जो बोलते हैं ना
Quick fixes, fat
quick
diets
fixes,
जो लेते
fat
हैं.
diets, yeah. Fat diet जो करते हैं ना, in that case what happens when you do a fat diet, you'll see a drop in your weight, but once you stop it, once you go back to square one, immediately the weight is going to bounce back because you're not treating the leptin. So yes, definitely leptin is something that you should keep a close eye on it, especially when you are experiencing sudden fluctuations in your weight, because that is one hormone that is related with your appetite and satiety wale signals के
Yeah,
लिए.
so your appetite regulation is
Regulation
key
is
for it.
yeah. So if there is leptin resistance, like even if you do a fat diet, like something like a fast keto or intermittent fasting where you are eating just for 2 hours a day, that is going to help you temporarily because you are not treating the root cause over here. You are basically just trying to achieve your goal, right? So that is not going to help you. Leptin is something that is not only important in men, women, but also in sports person as well, because that is also going to influence your hormones, that is going to influence your signals, that is going to influence your thyroid production as well, your sleep. All of these factors are going to get influenced because of leptin. Definitely, yeah.
So critical marker.
Critical
again.
marker, yes, definitely.
And we've spoken about all these blood tests, but tell me this. What do you do after you get the blood test done? Like, can you target certain dysfunctions? Can you target blood work, improvements through lifestyle, through supplementation, through diet? Personalized nutrition कर सकते हो ना?
Definitely. So I consider it like a magnifying glass. Sherlock Holmes का magnifying glass कैसे होता है? I consider it like that because see, you're comparing with a narrow down and like a very precise ranges. So basically, understand you're comparing your blood reports with a healthier set of population. So you understand how optimally your body is functioning, how your systems are working, how well your cells are working, right? So when you do the comparison, you understand the imbalances, you understand the dysfunctions way before this full-blown condition starts showing up or your symptoms start showing up. So definitely, when you understand the imbalances, when you catch it early, the chances of reversal are also way much more better because based on that, you will plan a personalized strategy, you will plan supplement list, you will plan the diet, you will start modifying their lifestyle factors, you will understand the triggers, their environmental triggers. All of these things is considered when you look at the functional blood chemistry analysis. and it's easy because you keep checking it. Like after 3 months, when you do a protocol, when you take a supplement, you need to keep a check on those markers that has been de-rinched after 3 months. So you'll understand after doing all of this stuff, आप कहाँ पे खड़े होते हो, like कितना changes आया है, what are the things that I need to focus more on. So definitely, definitely, it's a crucial marker because इसके बिना you can't understand anything. You're just doing a guesswork कि समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि what are my symptoms, why they are showing up, किसकी वजह से ये चीज़ें आ रही है. So it's completely a guesswork that you are doing if you're not
It's
doing
like
the
shooting in
FBC.
the blind.
Shooting in the blind, definitely shooting in the blind.
And tell me this, if somebody wants to know if there's a lot of toxins in their body, right? Can that be tested through the basic blood test, or do we go at a deeper level or in any different set of tests to actually understand that?
For like toxic materials, if you want to know about whether there are any toxin building up or not, you need to do a separate profile. That is a heavy metal test. Okay. But when we do the basic blood test, there are few indirect parameters which will give you an idea about how your body is functioning and how well it is able to tolerate and throw out these toxins properly. That is your liver health. So liver plays an important role in detoxification. So you check their liver profile, like ALT is there, AST is there, your GGT is there, your bilirubin markers are there. If these are elevated, you'll able to understand the liver is not functioning properly. There's a lot of burden on it, and the detoxification pathways are getting hampered. So these are like indirect markers
Even
that you can
renal,
get.
because like some of the
Yeah.
excretion will take place through the renal
So you'll check their EGFR, you'll check their creatinine and BUN, because these are like a good accurate markers which will tell you how your kidneys are basically functioning. Are they functioning well or not? Definitely.
Now, we've seen the pros of it, but if we have to look at it in the sense of cons, so is there like any limitation or any risk that is involved with the FBCA interpretation, or it's all good, all sunny?
So functional medicine, functional nutrition, this is something that has been coming, that is something, this is new, that is coming up right now. अभी अभी आने लगा है ये, इसके बारे में बहुत बात चलने लगी है. And the thing over here, limitation is the ranges that we use. Why the limitation is there? Because जैसे lab reports के जो ranges होते हैं, these are derived from doing a lot of in-depth research. Optimal ranges का क्या होता है ना, there is a slight possibility that it can differ practitioner to practitioner, because based on like उनका जो research है, based on their clinical practice, they'll develop their optimal ranges. So this is a slight limitation that is there in FBCA. But the plus point is right now there are a lot of researches that have been happening right now. There are a lot of trials, RCTs that has been done based on population basis. So optimal ranges is something that will become more and more. We'll get more idea about
Refined. They'll,
हाँ,
I think, more researched about.
more research about it now.
Okay, fair enough. And I mean, if we're talking about blood tests, we also talk about the future of everything that is going on right now, which is AI. It's everywhere, right? So tell me this, with AI, is blood chemistry analysis going to be more accurate, more predictive? Is it a good tool to have?
See, it's a good tool for the practitioner who is using, because there are a lot of parameters that they have to analyze in one go. And this actually comes when you have a lot of experience कि आप जितना करोगे ना उतना आपको easily आ जाता है. AI can make it easy for the people who are new in this field. Okay, but to use the AI, you have to train it really, really well. Because जैसे लोगों को बहुत आदत होती है, they'll Google their symptoms.
Yeah.
When they Google it, immediately first आ जाता है cancer, like
Stroke, brain tumor.
brain stroke,
Yeah.
brain tumor या kidney conditions. Based on the symptoms, जो भी वो search करेंगे उसके basis पे they'll get the like a very chronic conditions. So you need to train the AI properly, so it can be very precise, it can rule out these conditions, and it can basically help that individual to understand what is actually happening inside the body. So yes, definitely AI can be helpful, but उसको अभी इसमें आने के लिए you need to train it a lot. Like you
Yeah,
have
and I think it has to be taken, that advice has to be taken with a lot of caution, whatever AI tells you, because you're not, I mean, that is technology at the end of the day. They don't have that kind of understanding, because there's a lot of cases that are happening that people are, it's cheaper, it's mostly free. So you look at it for your advices and recommendations, and people have unfortunately even lost lives because of the recommendation that AI has given, or they've even, maybe had adverse reactions right? Just because they chat GPT'd a symptom,
Symptoms, yeah,
right?
definitely.
So yes, it can be a good tool, but just be very cautious and very smart and show your own discernment when you're actually utilizing it, especially for something as serious as your own health, or even for somebody else's.
See, at the end of the day, human touch is human touch.
Yeah.
Okay, humans are going to help to make your protocols, make your analysis more personalized. It is going to give you more personal touch. But AI can be a very like a supportive assistant kind of a
True.
thing for the practitioners that will help with the analysis. Further steps needs to be taken under a proper supervision of any kind of a nutritionist or any clinical practitioner.
Yeah,
That is must say.
consultation and that care of a professional, that I don't think at this stage cannot be overlooked by AI,
Yeah,
is what we personally feel. And if we talk about trends that keep on happening every year, every time there's a new trend in healthcare that we know of, right? बीच में आया था कि somebody started talking about inflammation, so cardiac events अब ज़्यादा हुए थे, so everybody was looking at inflammatory markers and your cardiac and lipid markers. Now the recent trend is longevity and anti-aging, right? So are there any markers that can help detect how long you're going to live, or like are you going to have flawless skin? I would like to take that test. But are there any markers that can indicate that?
See, there are few markers that you can definitely keep an eye on. One of them is homocysteine, and this is the one that no one that I've up till seen now checks in a clinical setup, because homocysteine is something that's basically one of the amino acids, and this is related because it's related with the methylation cycle, which is important for the DNA repair. So in case when your homocysteine levels are elevated, that is basically giving you an idea, but that is something wrong is going on in a DNA repairing case for a scenario. So homocysteine is definitely one of the marker that you need to check in. Your inflammatory markers, obviously, because if there is a lot of inflammation, that is low grade or chronic inflammation, that is going to accelerate your aging process. It is going to hamper your specific goal that you have in your mind for optimization and longevity. Definitely. Insulin, lipid profile, these are again a few of the markers that you need to keep a close eye on. And
Oxidative stress and all.
yeah, oxidative markers like your uric acid, your bilirubin, these are also the markers, because oxidative stress is going to directly impact your cell.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
cell is like a basic
And
unit.
for aging, you have to look at how much oxidative stress, especially.
Definitely. And
is there.
oxidative stress can happen because of multiple reasons. It can be as basic as your diet, your lifestyle, but more importantly, your EMFs is
Environment.
there, environments is
Yeah.
there, your toxins, your chemicals, and we are surrounded with a lot of these things. We miss out, and we basically हम नजरअंदाज कर देते हैं उस
Yeah.
चीज को.
And how do functional tests actually measure a person's biological age versus their chronological age?
Biological age can be like low or high compared to your chronological age, because there are a lot of factors again which is going to impact your biological age. So definitely your functional blood chemistry analysis, look at these parameters, that is your inflammatory markers, your infection, your CVC, your glucose profile, your liver profile, liver, kidney, thyroid, everything is basically
सभी,
something
मतलब,
हम check कर लेते हैं. So that gives us an idea about what is happening inside your body, and based on that you'll understand where do you stand in a biological age manner.
Okay, fair enough. And आजकल ये भी आ रहा है, like these functional blood tests that you can do at home.
Home test kit.
Are they reliable? Are they good?
See, I feel those are not very easy. Like बहुत convenient है लोगों को blood test करने के लिए. For those who are like who face difficulties to go to lab and then give the blood test, for them this test kits can be something more convenient, but there are a lot of things that can influence this accuracy of this testing, because the way that you collect the sample, when do you collect your sample, like how are you collecting sample, how are you storing it, how are you shipping it, all of these things are going to definitely impact your blood test reports. So yeah, it is convenient, but it also has a lot of drawbacks. So something that needs to be taken care or handled with little proper care, with a proper technician, that is something that
It's आप करने के लिए कर सकते हो, it's like no harm done, but it's not the best
हाँ
tool to utilize if you want to be that serious
that
about your
serious
health.
about your health.
Yeah,
Definitely.
fair enough. And in your opinion, what do you think is going to be the future of testing, like functional blood testing, next 5 to 10 years? What do you see in trends? What do you see in, I don't know, any new advancements? What is it in your
So
opinion?
I have already started seeing AIs being used
Yeah.
in functional blood test or even normal blood
We did
test.
not think that would happen 2 years back at
2 years
least.
back,
Yeah.
definitely not. Wearable device is something that is coming up because wearable device, when you wear it, you can track down what is happening inside your body. You can keep a login details about everything. So that is definitely something that has been there since a quite long time, wearable device, but it's upgrading day by day, just like
Yeah.
how your iPhone is basically upgrading.
वो तो हर मॉडल के
हर
साथ
मॉडल के साथ चेंज होता है
Yeah.
तो सेम थिंग इज विद योर वेरेबल डिवाइसेस एज वेल एंड the AI is definitely also going to help with the interpretation of your blood test.
So tech, I think health tech is going to be, it has been a thing. I think it's just going to enhance in its features now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how wild it can go,
Definitely.
because I think AI shook everyone up.
Yep.
For good or bad, that's your call. But it was something that shook the world. So something that is going to shake us up right now, today, in this age and in this moment, is the next segment, which is our gutsy shots. And I don't think you are excited about it because you've seen it in previous
Yeah.
records, and it's never been a very pleasant experience for anybody in these seats.
Yep.
So पेश किया जाए. So they're the best hosts. So the production gives us beautiful shots, and let me tell you what these shots are. That's the lemon shot. That's the salt shot, concentrated versions of each. That's the ACV shot. I can literally smell it from my other part. It's मेरे को अब खौफ रहता है इसका. And lastly, इतने प्यार से जो उन्होंने सजाई है हमारे लिए, matching me, is a sweet little mirchi.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nothing about it sweet or little. So before we actually start, let me just tell you the rules of the game. They ask us a question and we have to buzz before
Meh.
we answer. Yeah. So you can't give the answer directly. That disqualifies you and that basically puts you up for a shot. Okay? So you have to buzz and then you have to answer. And if your answer is correct, then you give the shot to the other person. If your answer is incorrect, then the other person gives the shot to you.
Okay.
Yes. Beautiful.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Ah,
Yes.
Yes.
Or no. Like.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
That's okay.
they can. So yeah, they are a good early preventative stage, or rather like a predictive stage to see अगर आपको mitochondrial dysfunction होने वाला होता है. You start feeling it in your symptoms also. You start looking at your blood work, उसमें भी आपको समझ आने लग जाता है. तो yeah, I think for any and every dysfunction that starts to arise, blood tests give an early answer mostly
Definitely.
if you know how to look.
Yep.
And for that, I will give you the ACV shot that I don't want to look at anymore.
Surprisingly, I like ACV, by the way. So.
My guest. Be my guest. Cheers, bhai sahab.
Cheers.
Oh, that relief on my face right now. Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, she likes it. I don't.
Yeah. Nah.
Meh.
Yes, it definitely does. Because you check free D3, T4, TSH, and along with that, based on the like how abnormal the TSH is, you check their antibodies. So yeah, definitely.
And even nutrients वगैरह भी आप देख ही
Nutrients
लेते
वगैरह,
हो.
obviously, because
Selenium, B vitamins,
Yeah.
proteins, all of that you
all
look
of
at.
that is definitely going to influence. Yes.
These guys have conveniently forgotten to give me the shot. हाँ.
Oh shit.
You were trying to help me here. सब भूल गया था. I was also sitting quietly कि ठीक है, they've not given me the shot, but the audience would have known.
I'll give you salt, Vana. Take it.
ठीक है.
It's pink salt, by the way.
I can see the granules also. इतना वो है.
How is it, Shagun? पूरा नीचे बचा है. Yeah.
You said the answer, so I get a chance. You said yup. So yeah, they are, and not just under 30. I think over 30 also. Advanced hormonal panels are a good idea for a woman every stage of their life, especially up until menopause. So yeah, which looks more concentrated. तो मिर्ची खा ले.
हाय हाय मेरे जैसा ही है ये. पूरी नहीं है,
गटक जोर.
निकल भी नहीं रही. फक, इट्स वेरी थिक.
भाई स्मेल इधर तक आई मुझे मिर्ची की. Who was first? Yes.
अय्या.
Yeah. So CRP alone is not enough, especially if you're doing CRP. Might as well get HSCRP done. And in case you want to get more deeper understanding of your inflammation, go for ESR. That gives you an idea of the chronic inflammation in the body. And then homocysteine as well. You can look at. I'll be gentle with you.
Yes, please.
What do you want? Tell me what do you want.
Anything.
अरे tell me ना.
दोनों भी जनटल है.
हाँ, fair enough. Lemon ले ले.
लेमन ले लो.
हाँ.
अब दर ये concentrated हो गया. तो
I always say this. नींबू मिर्ची लगा के इसको गाड़ी के सामने बांध दो. नजर बट्टू.
Anyone should ideally get their hormonal profile test done based on the symptoms, but like must considering the age factor, there are a lot of conditions that are like developing through age related, so करना ही करना चाहिए हम.
And men के लिए तो
must है.
out of the variety that's left in front of me.
Turmeric. Yes, Shagun, you can do it.
So that was the end of the Guts podcast for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And Shreya, thank you so much for being such a great, great guest and having those very painful shots for me. And I will meet you at the washroom next. But it's been a pleasure having you. And thank you so much for sharing your insights about the blood chemistry analysis and the functional interpretation that we do. And always, always word to the wise, do keep a check on your health. Keep getting your blood tests done. Even if you think nothing is wrong, there could be things that could be happening inside the body that you don't know of. So take care of your health and do so with some professional help. Okay? Take care.
Sayonara.